So I'm gonna press resume on the recording for our friends who cannot wake up in time. All right, so let's come to the top of the mat. And we'll bring our hands together, feet together. Kristen's picture is so nice. Oh my gosh, it's like distractingly gorgeous on the screen. All right, so we'll either look down or close the eyes so that we're not distracted by the shiny objects around us. Just find a nice breath that feels like easy. You don't want to increase too much too soon. And on your next exhale, just lower the arms by your sides. On the inhale, reach up. And let's bring the arms out to the side, just alongside the shoulders. Next inhale, flip the palms up, reach up again. And exhale the arms out to the sides, lining up with the shoulders, palms forward. And just do this twice more. See if you can get a little bit taller, but also don't stick your butt out. So we're dropping the tailbone down a bit, lifting through the front body. And the next time that you have your arms out to the side, we'll keep them there as we inhale. Keep the hips facing front, exhale to twist to the right. You'll have to push that right hip forward a little bit. Inhale through center, and exhale over to the other side. Inhale through center, and just go at your pace, back and forth. A lot of you have done this with me in person, and often I have to go around and sort of keep your hips stable as you do this. So just pretend that my hands are on your hips so that when you twist, they are still facing front. So the twist is not coming all the way from the ankles up. It's only from your kind of mid-belly up. And whenever your next trip back from your left side is, we'll just stay there facing front. And we'll lower the arms down by the sides. Next inhale, reach up, look up at the thumbs. Exhale to fold forward. Halfway up for an inhale. Step or jump back lower to chaturanga or your belly. Exhale. Lift to cobra or upward facing dog. Inhale. And exhale to downward dog. When you get there, lift the heels up high. Spin them over to the right so all your toes face the left. And bend that right knee so you exaggerate the stretch for the left side body. We're using our fingertips to press our chest closer to the knees. Let's bring the heels up and over to the other side. That right hip is moving back. The tighter you are in that waist, the more delicious this will feel. Okay, we'll come through center. Lift the heels up high, inhale. Bend the knees, exhale, look forward, and step or jump, feet to hands. Inhale when you get there. Fold, exhale. Rise all the way up, inhale. Keep the arms up, just bend the knees for the exhale. Stand up, inhale, arms by the sides. Exhale, bend the knees, reach up. 2 more times like that. Inhale, rising. Exhale, butt coming down. Weight in the heels. 1 more time, as high as you can go, crown of the head up, as low as you can go without losing your balance. Straighten the legs. Hands to the hips, inhale. And just fold halfway, exhale. Keep the hands on the hips, and just start to slide your right foot back until at some point it rises off the ground. The hands on the hips is just helping us keep our hips facing down. Point the toes of that right foot and spiral that thigh down and in so that it feels like your right hip is moving down and your inner right thigh is moving up. All Rise up and try the other side. We lean our torso forward. We slide that left leg back. We make sure we feel balanced. Point the toes like it's reaching your foot as far away from you as possible. Quadriceps engaged. And it's tempting to lift that left hip because then the leg gets higher. But if you can roll your thigh in, you're going to feel your hamstrings work nicely. Let's rise up. Take your time. Lower the arms. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. Step or jump, chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing, inhale. Downward facing, exhale. Right leg up high, inhale. Step to the hands, exhale. High lunge, reach up to the ceiling, inhale. Hands to the floor for downward dog. So it's a pretty quick step back. And left leg up high. Inhale. Step forward, exhale. For the high lunge on the other side as you inhale. And for your downward dog on the exhale. So a lot happens on that exhale. Whenever you get to dog, inhale the heels up high. Exhale to bend the knees, look forward. Step or jump. Feet to hands. Inhale whenever you're there. Hold on the exhale. Bend into the knees. Inhale, reach up. Let's twist to the right. Hook your left elbow. And just stay here for 3 breaths. Sit the butt low. Lift the chest up. Draw the belly in. Okay, and to fold out of this, we're just going to untwist. And lift your butt up toward the ceiling. Push into the feet. And if you can lean your weight a little bit forward out of your heels, you're going to get your legs a little bit straighter. Okay, let's try the other side. Bend into the knees, arms up, Bhujapidasana, and twist to the left. 3 breaths here. Press that left hand down into the right hand. Okay, untwist. The upper body will melt down as your butt lifts up. Make sure there's no tension in the neck. Eventually your head will be on your shins, but the neck still shouldn't be feeling a strain. Next, inhale just halfway up. And let's step or jump back, chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Right leg up high, inhale. Step forward for the exhale. We'll do that high lunge again for the inhale. This time we'll come all the way to chaturanga for the exhale. So again, it's a lot of ground to cover. Inhale to your upward facing. Exhale, downward dog. Left side, inhale the leg to the ceiling. Step forward, exhale. High lunge, inhale. Hands down, step back, bend the elbows, exhale. Upward facing, inhale. Downward facing, exhale. We'll stay here for a few breaths. Notice if your breath is a little erratic. Sometimes those quick movements make it so. Okay, heels up high, inhale. Bend the knees, exhale, look forward and jump. Inhale when you're there. Fold, exhale. Bend to the knees, Bhujapidasana. Either stay here or reach forward so your arms counterbalance your butt a little better and start to go lower into a squat-like thing, whatever your version of squat is. So we're just letting the body kind of be a small little ball. A lot of primary series, this is a necessary position, knowing how to make yourself compact. So let's stand all the way up from wherever you are. And we'll lower the hands to the hips. Inhale. And exhale, come halfway down just like you did before. Take your time sliding your right leg back. Same thing. Roll that thigh in. This is where we're going to go for our inhale. When you exhale, you're going to rise up and bring your knee toward your chest. This is as high as it'll go. And then return to that extended position. Just do it 2 more times. You're just trying to bring your knee up without using the help of the hands. If we had the hands on our shin, it would be a whole lot easier to get our knee close to our chest. For this, we're trying to use hip flexors and abdominals to lift it for us. So let's meet in that extended place. We'll just lower the right foot down and rise up. Make sure everything is still working. Shake it out if you're tense, and let's try the other side. So find your height. Zip up from the pubic bone up toward the belly button. Hinge. Slide the left leg back. Get the legs straight. Make sure you feel balanced. And when you're ready, 3 times, we curl it in, exhale, and we stretch it out, inhale. If you feel unbalanced with your hands on your hips, you could reach out like airplane wings. You could hold onto the wall. After that last one, whenever you're done extending that leg, just lower the foot and rise up, shake it out. And we'll meet at the top of the mat. Inhale to reach the arms up. Exhale to fold forward. Halfway up, inhale. Step or jump back, exhale. Upward facing, inhale. Downward facing, exhale. Right leg high, inhale. Step to the hands, exhale. 3 breaths in either warrior 1 or high lunge. The difference being just that back heel. If your back heel is down and you're in warrior 1, it's a little harder to keep your left hip moving forward. It takes a lot of concentration. Okay, on your next exhale, step to chaturanga. A lot happens in that same exhale. Cycle through the rest of the vinyasa. Each half breath paired with the movement. Up from downward dog, left leg high. We step forward. We rise up to whatever we did on the other side. And keep that back leg straight. Unless you have some back issues, then you would lift the back heel and bend the back knee. Then you'll have a little more space, perhaps. Depends on the back issue, but that's one way to help alleviate pain. Okay, on your next exhale, step to your chaturanga. On your inhale, back bend. On your exhale, resting pose, downward dog. Okay, so keep your neck as relaxed as it is now. Walk your hands back to your feet. Bend the knees if you need to. Reach for yogi toe lock grip. First 2 fingers and thumbs and the big toe. Inhale. And fold, exhale. Few breaths here. So we're pushing our feet down in order to get our butt up. Try to bring the weight a little bit forward so that your legs get a little straighter. Engage your quads. Okay, let's inhale to straighten the arms. Place your palms on the mat and walk into downward dog again. And as you're walking your hands forward, engage your quads more and more so that your heels are more likely to stay low. Either touching the ground or reaching toward the ground with intention. Okay, heels up high, inhale. Bend the knees, exhale, jump forward. Inhale when you get there. Fold, exhale. Bend into the knees. Bhujapidasana. I'm just going to face you, but you're fine there. So stay in Utkatasana, but bring the hands to prayer. Then bring your right knee in toward your chest. And notice how close it gets. It's like thigh is pretty much touching your forearm right now. Start to straighten your standing leg and notice how hard it is to keep your thigh touching your forearm. Oh my gosh. Okay, Bhujapidasana again, both feet down. Then start to lift your left leg. You're rounding your back in order to get your knee high, thigh to forearm if possible. Then start to straighten your right leg. Wow. It was easy a moment ago. And now with that right leg straight, it's super hard. Let's return to Utkatasana. Twist to the right. We'll hook that left elbow. And whenever you feel ready, step the left foot back so you're in a twisted lunge. And we'll just stay here for a few breaths. We'll swing that right hip back so it's a nice hip stretch akin to pigeon. And let's unravel. We'll lower the back heel and turn this into triangle pose by just straightening the front leg and sliding that right hip underneath us to the left side of the mat. Right hand could be wherever you want so long as the leg is straight. Top hand has some options too. If you feel like your side bodies are tight, consider reaching your left arm over your ear. If your shoulders are tight, reach your arm behind your back and try to grab your thigh. Okay, let's lower that top hand. We're going to turn this into Bhujapidasana. Back knee down to the floor, untuck the back toes, and reach the hands to that right thigh. We're just nudging that right knee into a more bent position so that we feel more stretch in the left thigh. Okay, so that's like a half prep for a split. Let's do the other half prep. Straighten that right leg, send the hips back, flex the foot of that front foot. Fold as much as you can. But keep the legs straight. Okay, bend into that right leg again. Slide that back knee up, back foot in, heel to heel alignment for twisted triangle. So that left hand can be on the ground, but if that means the front knee is bent, come up higher. Either onto the left fingertips or use a block. Right arm up. And we try to look up. We try to swing that right hip back, just like we did when we were in the twisted lunge. It's a lot harder here. As the right hip moves back, you need to push more into the ball of your foot. Okay, let's slowly untwist and step back, vinyasa. If you're over the vinyasas or you have wrist or elbow pains, just go to downward dog. From dog, we'll lift the heels up. Inhale. Bend the knees, look past your hands so that you can land your feet between your hands. Inhale whenever you're at the top. Fold, exhale. Bend the knees. Lift the arms. Inhale. And we'll do all this on the other side. So a twisted chair. Hook that right arm outside your left thigh, palms together. And step your right foot back. Few breaths here. So we're pushing the ball of the left foot into the floor. That's going to help us keep our left knee over the ankle. And we swing the left hip back. We wind up with a nice stretch. Okay, turning it into triangle. Untwist, lower the back heel. Adjust your stance however you need. Normally it's a heel to arch situation. Decide where you want your left hand to be. Keep scooping that left hip under so that you feel your shoulders moving back a little bit. So it's all on one plane. And decide what you want to do with your top arm. One of the reasons we need to practice often is because of all these options. So if you have tight side bodies and you want to reach overhead, that's all good, but we also have tight shoulders, so we sort of need to do all of it. There's not enough hours in the day to do it all today, so we do it today, tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. Okay, let's lower the top hand. Find your Anjaneyasana, right knee down, hands to the left thigh. And we try to nudge that knee forward a little more. If we were in a high lunge, we would keep our knee over the ankle. But in Anjaneyasana, you might find that your knees are over your toes, your front knee over your toes. And we will be doing a split maybe in 15 minutes or so. So this is helping us deal with the back leg of split. Okay, fingers down. I like to creep the back leg back about 6 inches and then straighten the front leg for the other version of half split. We'll think armpits away from hips. And we'll try to bring our toes closer to our shin bone. Okay, twisted triangle. So we rise up with that back knee, we adjust the foot. Now it's a heel to heel alignment. Maybe the hand is on the floor or it's on a block, a stack of books, etc. Reach up if you can. If you feel like your hips are having squaring issues, you could reach your left hand to your right hip bone. Literally, it comes around and the fingers curl over the bone, and you pick that bone up toward the ceiling. Pretty amazing how much space that makes in the low back. Okay, let's unravel. Cycle through your vinyasa or go to downward dog. Now we'll meet there. Nice steady breath. Relaxed neck. Okay, so engage your quads and walk your hands back to your feet. Slide your hands underneath your feet, palms up, toes by your wrists. And you might need to bend your knees in order to get your hands this far under your feet. When you're situated, drop your head and start to push down into your feet so your butt lifts up. You wind up with straighter legs. Some of you, they'll look fully straight. Wherever it is in the range is fine. Just keep pushing down into the floor. That root to rise concept. This is Bhujapidasana. Next inhale, we'll straighten the arms. Exhale to place the palms flat down on the mat in front and walk to downward dog again like you did before. From down dog, heels up high. Bend the knees. Exhale, look past your fingers because gaze is important. Jump forward. That's going to help later when you try to jump to your butt. Inhale at the top and fold. Exhale. Bend the knees. Bhujapidasana. Inhale. And that same twist we've done before. This is now, I think, the third time. So option to stay here, or you'll take it out to a bakasana, and then you'll come back again to this standing pose. So if you're taking the detour, you're going to reach your hands out to the right, fingers facing the same way as your toes, facing forward. Your right hand is going to be off your mat, most likely, unless you have two mats there. And you'll let your hips be between your elbows in that space. If you've gone out to the side, return to your twisted chair. Take your time. We'll look down. Left foot steps back for that twisted lunge. Just take one breath here. We'll untwist. Bring the fingertips down either to the floor or you can have stacks of blocks and books. On the inhale, straighten your right leg as much as you can. Exhale to bend it again. 2 more times like that. Inhale to straighten. You might want to flex your foot. Exhale to bend. One more time. So we're just nudging into hips and hamstrings. This next time that you end up with your right knee bent, lower the back heel for Bhujapidasana. So your right hand can stay on your series of books. We'll reach the left arm overhead, over the ear, I should say. You can have your palm down or your fingertips down, or you could even have your elbow on your thigh. Very different twist situation with all those options. So you decide. Take 2 more breaths. If you can, look at your left hand. See that your pinky finger is angling down. That's from your shoulder rotation. Okay, and we'll lower the hand. We're just going to walk this right foot over to the left. Pigeon. Drop the knee. Downward facing pigeon. I'm so nice today to give you downward facing pigeon. So, the rule is do not rock over to your right hip. For me, it's very tempting because I do so much walking with the dogs that I'm tight in the hips. So the way I stop myself from doing that is I just put my right hand out to the side. And now I cannot rock over there. It's just like a little boundary. You do whatever trick you need to keep yourself in this pose with integrity. Take 1 more breath. We'll start to rise up, and we'll just take vinyasa from there, or meet us in downward dog. Okay, so we're still doing standing poses, so you don't have to get nervous about the jump throughs that will come later. But this whole jumping the feet forward to the hands is our prep, is helping us. So keep your arms really straight. Spread your fingers. Do not lift your wrists off the ground. Heels up, inhale. Bend your knees, exhale, look forward, and jump. Inhale whenever you get there. Fold, exhale. Bend the knees, Bhujapidasana. And we just do all of this on the other side. So twist to the left, hook your right arm. I'm just going to face this way in case the arm balance was a little elusive. So you can stay here. You're pushing your knees together, your hands together, your arm into your leg. Or you're going to lower your right hand. It'll be maybe 6 inches from your left foot. Left hand's going to reach out so that your hands have the same distance between them as they do in downward dog. Very comfortable shoulder width distance. And then you just prop yourself basically on your forearms. Doesn't take a whole lot of strength to do this pose. Just takes being in the right spot. Even 1 inch off will make it difficult. Okay, so return to your feet if you're on your hands. Look down. Step your right foot back so you're in your lunge. I will slowly uncoil from the twist. Fingertips on the ground or the blocks. And inhale to straighten your left leg. Exhale to bend. 2 more times. When you straighten your leg, you're pushing the floor away from you. When you bend, you're pulling toward you. Okay, lower the back heel. Bhujapidasana. So this is a heel to arch alignment. Most of the time that will just happen naturally, but if it didn't, then adjust. Decide what you want to do with your left hand. Reach your right arm over your ear. Two more breaths. Okay, and we'll lower that top hand. We'll step back and vinyasa. Okay. Oh, I forgot pigeon. Oops, left foot, pigeon. I know that any moment now, one of you is going to unmute yourselves and yell. Okay, so pigeon left leg in front. Left hand potentially out to the side like a kickstand. I also put my right forearm often underneath the sole of the left foot. Otherwise, my foot gets really lazy. Okay. And when you're ready, rise up. We'll just step to downward dog because we already did the vinyasa that went with this. All right, so all our jump throughs were to our feet. This one we're going to try to bring to our butt. So we'll look past our fingers, heels up, inhale, bend your knees, exhale, keep your arms straight, and just start to bring your feet through, cross your ankles. You might land right here between your hands. Just try to keep your butt up as you extend your legs out. Takes about 1,000,000 times of practice before it works. Okay, let's bring the right leg, sole of foot to left thigh, 90 degrees between the thighs. Notice that your torso is kind of at this 45-degree mark. So we're going to change that. We're going to inhale, get high, then twist toward the left, toward your straight leg, exhale. Stay there as you inhale, get tall again, and exhale to fold over that leg. You can hold your foot, you can hold your wrist and go underneath your foot. If your foot is too far away, just hold your knee or your shin. Okay, so let's rise up. We'll undo the legs and we'll just lean back so that our knees are by our chest. So we're just leaning enough that our toes are no longer on the ground. So it's not a tremendous lean back, just a little. And see if you can stay there without your hands holding your shins. It becomes so hard, so quick. Holding the shins, everything is so easy. Take 2 more breaths here. And just keep thinking knees to chest. Okay, so Bhujapidasana A, other side. Right leg straight, left foot glues itself to the leg. So it's not just kind of in the vicinity of, it's literally pressing into. And inhale, here you are facing your diagonal. Exhale, twist toward the right leg. Inhale for height, and exhale to fold. And even once you get your grip, your pose is not really done. You can't just relax there. Each inhale, you're lengthening. Each exhale, you're folding. And I like to think of reaching the left armpit toward the right foot. I try to get the belly in enough that I can get the right ribs up a little higher toward the ceiling. If I don't bring the belly in, it gets kind of stuck on the thigh. So if I can't do it just with my mind saying belly lift, my right hand can literally come around and kind of poke in there and move it to the right. Hands are very useful. Okay, let's rise up, undo the legs, and again we'll hug our shins. We'll reach forward. And this time we'll just try to lift one leg up and then return to that other spot. And then the other leg up and return just one more time each side. If you do not like this, you can just kind of stay with the knees bent. They're both really kind of awful. Neither is fun. Okay, cross the shins, hands down, lift your butt, slide your feet through the little space, and step back to vinyasa. Okay, let's lift the heels up. Inhale. Bend the knees. Exhale, we're going to just jump to our feet. So feet between the hands. Straight legs. Inhale. Fold, exhale. Bend into the knees. Inhale. Hands to prayer for flying pigeon, right leg on top. So we'll just place that right ankle on the lower thigh. Chest forward, butt back. This is all prep for half lotus. It's all the same outer hip stretch like pigeon. Okay, so we're going to turn this into a few other things, but between those things, we're going to come back to this place. If today your balance feels crazy, just go near a wall so you can save yourself if needed. Okay, left hand to the hip, right hand either to the big toe or to the pinky toe edge of your foot. And we'll start to stand up. It's pretty easy to get the left leg straight. It's not so easy to get the right leg straight. So you're just gonna push the ball of your right foot forward until it can go no more. That will depend greatly on your hamstring. As you're pushing the ball of your foot forward, roll your right shoulder back. Otherwise, the weight of the leg is going to kind of pull that arm too far forward. Okay, we'll return to our flying pigeon, which will be sort of the resting place. You can keep your hands in prayer or reach your fingers down. As you do this more and more, it becomes pretty easy to get the fingers down. Okay, so left hand to the hip again. Right hand, either big toe or edge of foot. We'll stand up again, left leg straight, and this time we'll try to kick the right leg out to the side. Same idea, the ball of the foot just moving away from you. It's going to be a little easier here to keep that arm in the socket. A little easier to get the leg higher. If your balance is okay, look to the left. Flying pigeon again. So the right leg for the past 2 minutes has been doing some fancy things, but you'll start to notice it's your left leg that's working really hard. Just take one more breath here, and we're just going to stand up and lower the foot. And dang, that left leg is on fire. Okay, so we get to do all that on the other side. Left ankle to lower right thigh, and we flex that left foot. Basically, the right thigh is a table. The more you bend your right knee, the easier it is to have that leg stay there comfortably. Okay, left hand, make a choice, big toe or pinky toe edge, and right hand to the hip. You can try standing up normal first, and then just letting that knee come in so that you're square, and then letting the ball of the foot push away. To get the shoulder back, I like to roll it up to the ear and then back. It just feels like there's more possibilities then. Okay, left ankle to the lower right thigh. Hands to prayer or fingers down. You'll start to feel your chest come closer to your shin bone. Okay, and out to the side we go. So again, you make a choice with your left hand. If you're holding your big toe and you feel like it's about to rip off, then maybe for a little while you change your grip, maybe a month or so. We're pushing the left ball of the foot away from us. We're pushing the right ball of the foot down into the floor. Okay. Ooh. Left ankle to lower right thigh. A few more breaths here. And we'll just slowly rise up. Take your time. Oh my gosh, and shake it out. I feel like on fire all through there. Okay, so let's come to the top of the mat. We're going to take the arms to cactus. So we'll keep our elbows there. We're just going to lower the fingers down and then the fingers up. So the elbows don't really move. Mine might be moving a little bit, but pretend that they're not. Do what I say, not what I do. You know how it is. So this is just to get our shoulders a little bit looser, because in just a moment we're going to take that reverse prayer grip, which not all of you are going to love. So when you can, you're going to let your hands come down and then behind you. You'll let your fingers touch, palms touch, and slide your hands up between your shoulder blades. If that doesn't work, go for fist bump or hold opposite elbows. Once you're situated with your hands, step your right foot back about 2.5 feet. Turn to face the back of your mat. Your right foot will face straight to the back. Your left foot about 45 out to the side. Inhale, chest up. Fold forward for your exhale with 2 straight legs. Doesn't matter how far forward you fold. Some of you, your torso will be roughly parallel to the floor. Some of you, your head is going to touch your right shin bone. The rules of the game are legs straight, right hip back, and elbows back. If you're in prayer and you feel like your wrists are about to break, choose a different thing for your hands. Let's inhale to rise up and flip around just on the feet. Other side. Inhale. And we fold over that left leg, exhale. This is another one like that Janu Shirsasana sitting pose that we did, where the belly sometimes is up against the inner left thigh and presents a bit of a boundary that we might not want. But our hands are busy here, so we can't really use the hand like we might have in Janu A. So if that's happening to you, maybe come up a little bit, then draw the belly in, twist a little more, and then come down again. You just kind of get out of the pose to deepen it and return. Let's rise up, release the grip, and step forward. Shake it out just in case your wrists felt that. Okay, reach up, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Come halfway up, inhale. Just send the left leg back. So we're in a lunge, then lower the left knee. So we're in Anjaneyasana, which is sometimes called a low lunge. Okay, so to splits we go. So you've already done this half split and you've done this half split. Feel free to repeat either of those or creep your feet further apart until they will go no more. They'll definitely give you the feedback. It's just a matter of listening to it. Because plenty of people do get injured in yoga. It's not because the poses are dangerous, it's because we don't listen to the cues about when to stop. Just take a few more breaths here. I like to be upright, but some folks like to fold over the front leg. You could be on your forearms or whatever. I just feel a little out of control down there, so I stay up. Okay, to switch sides, we're just going to bring hands to the inside of that right leg. Pick yourself up and spin yasa over to the other side. So just a little leg adjustment. And if this side feels injured where the other side didn't, or vice versa, you might have to choose a different leg scenario, like the preps we did before. So when super flexible folks do this pose, their back leg, toes are untucked and they're on their toenails. That's a good option, especially if you're working on things like Bhujapidasana and you need to have strong foot. I tend to do this pose with toes curled under so that it more resembles a lunge. So I'm a little more in the comfort zone and able to square the hips, but you do what you need. Okay, so to get out of this, we'll bring our hands again to the inside of that left leg. Push down into the floor with your hands so something lifts, your butt, and then walk your hands around to the top of your mat, vinyasa. Okay. So we'll come through to have a seat on our butt again. Make sure your arms are straight. Lift your heels, inhale. Bend your knees, exhale, look past your hands. And as you jump, keep your knees close to your chest. It's just a little easier that way. Okay, right foot is going to come in close to our hip. I just have to adjust my pants sometimes. Okay. So right heel is kind of near the sitting bone. Left hand out to the side so you don't lean. Reach up, inhale, And try to grab hold of your left foot. Start to bend your right elbow and pull your torso through. Your armpit is now further forward than your shin bone, so you can start to reach your arm out to the side. You might stop with your fingers out there, or you might fully wrap around your leg, and your hands will hold near your right hip. We fold forward, head towards shin. This is Bhujapidasana A. It's a really nice stretch for your back, so long as you're drawing your belly in. Okay, let's rise up, unravel, and we'll find our favorite pose of all, Navasana. Actually, the next pose will be your favorite pose of all. We're going to cross the shins and we're just going to try to pick our butt up off the ground without letting our feet touch. So you do have to lean forward. Then as soon as you start leaning, your feet want to touch, don't let them. Knees up and then come down. Oh, okay, other side. Bhujapidasana A. So right leg straight, left knee is bent. There's like 5 inches here between your foot and your thigh. Because otherwise, where's your torso going to go? So reach up, get tall, reach forward, and just stay here for as long as it takes. It might take 2 years. You're just trying to make it such that your armpit is in front of your shin, as low and as in front as it can get. And start to reach out to the side. Maybe you stay there. If you're going for a bind, the palm has to face up. Otherwise, your elbow will not bend around the outside of the shin. When you go for full bind, your knuckles are on your body, your palm is facing away. So when the right hand comes around, it just plunks right into that palm, that open, waiting palm. Okay, let's rise up. Navasana. While we're in this pose, I'm just going to talk because there's a lot to say and not a lot of time. So that thing we did where we lifted our butt and tried to keep our feet up, that's going to help us get into chaturanga from here. So let's cross the shins, plant the hands, lean forward, lift your butt, slide your feet through. Who cares if they're on the ground? Just slide them on down. And then you're ready for your vinyasa. Okay, heels up high, inhale. Bend the knees, exhale, look through and jump. So we're taking primary series out of order. That is so that our hips have a better shot at success. And we're adding poses that are not really in the series. So right ankle to left thigh. We'll lean back enough to get this left foot close to our butt. And then we'll start leaning forward again. So you just become as much of a pancake as you can. If you have any knee issues, your left foot is not going to be close to your butt. It will be out there somewhere. If you think it sounds enjoyable, wrap your arms around your leg. And then it's a little more feeling like that core lift up that we did for either Navasana, after Navasana, jump back. Because you don't want to fall back, so your belly is helping hold you. Okay, left leg out straight, right leg. We'll try to bring the heel to the belly button, that foot to the hip crease. And maybe you stay there. Maybe you put something under this knee. There was a time that my knee had a very easy time touching the floor. Now it doesn't so much. I've been avoiding those a little bit lately. So you can wedge something under there. If it's easy for you, fold forward. If half lotus is not your game, repeat any of the other things we did. We did that Bhujapidasana. This thing is forever useful. Those of you who are folded with half lotus, your right arm comes behind your back to hold on to your toes. Okay, let's rise up. Lean back enough to lift the legs. Navasana. And we'll try our lift up again where we just practice keeping our feet up. And you'll notice if you keep your hands by your hips and you try to lift up from there, there's nowhere to go. So you have to bring your hands forward. That's why it feels like our feet need to come down. So hands are forward, knees are up, and just try your best to keep your feet up. And let's lower down. We'll try the other side. Left ankle to lower right thigh. Lean back, slide the right foot in, and try to lean forward and become a pancake. Armpits up away from your hips. If you try to wrap your arms and you fall backwards, it's not a problem. Falling from here is not going to hurt. Okay. Straighten out the right leg. I lied, left heel to belly button. And as you're putting the foot at that hip crease, bring your knee in so that the knees are quite close. Then fold. And you'll feel your heel digging in to the side of your belly. When you were in Bhujapidasana A, you had your knee wide. That's correct for Janu A. But for half lotus, knees are closer. So play with that or whatever you need to do to help your hip. Okay, and we'll rise up. Navasana. This is just so that we have a shot at getting our feet through for a chaturanga. So let's bring the shins to cross, pretty high up, but close to the knees. Hands down, lean forward, lift your butt, slide your feet through, lean your shoulders forward, and step back, vinyasa when you can. In Real Primary Series, the Navasanas come after you've already done 6 million jump throughs. Okay, let's lift the heels, bend the knees. Again, we're going to jump through, try to land on our butt. So we'll keep the knees up high as our butt comes through. Okay, so let us twist. Bhujapidasana C. Right foot in, left arm wraps around the right leg, and we look back. If you can, hook your elbow. If you can, move your thumb down and around your shin so that your hands can hold near your left hip. This is another one of those where the belly could get in the way. Your hands are, however, occupied. So you have to deal with that before you bind. What some folks do is lean back, twist deeper, and then kind of come in from the side. But however you can do it. And if you have a boob in the way, that has to be moved as well. Okay, so let's unravel from wherever you are. Legs out. Inhale, reach up. And just fold forward, exhale. Reach up again, inhale. We're going to roll very slowly to the back. And as you roll, some of you will let your knees bend. Do whatever you need to feel safe in the back. Inhale, reach back toward the wall behind you. And exhale, start to roll up. Chin toward chest so that you're like a cinnamon bun. One more time, same thing. We reach up, inhale. We reach over, exhale. We reach up again, inhale. And we start to roll down. Chin to the chest will make rolling down easier as well. Inhale, reach back. And roll up. If you get stuck, just pause and use the next breath to help you up. Okay, Bhujapidasana C, other side. Left knee bends In this one, it's only like 2 inches between foot and thigh because you don't need your torso to come forward. So we twist, we hug, hook, or bind. Those of you who are going for bind, your right armpit has to be right up against your left thigh. Otherwise, your arm is just not going to be long enough to get a full bind. Okay. Slowly get out of there. Undo the legs. And let's try lifting the legs up, the fingers just out in front of you, and lowering the legs down. Just 2 more times like that. Lift the legs up. You can always go 1 leg at a time also. 1 more time. Okay, so cycle through your vinyasa. Let's try it this way. Let's cross the shins, and before you do anything else, hold your feet and just pull your knees in toward your shoulders. So you see how you're in this little ball. Ideally, we keep the little ball shape when we bring our legs through to chaturanga. It's just hard. So we'll place our hands down, we'll lean forward, lift our butt, and we'll slide or walk or curl our feet back. And I end up off my mat, as I very often do. Downward dog for a few breaths. Okay. Let's jump through and have a seat. We're going to backtrack to one of the earliest sitting poses in primary. We'll do a prep first. Reverse table. Hands down behind us, feet down facing front, lift the hips. So there are a million things happening here, but for today, what I want us to think about is our wrists and our fingers. Because there's a pose coming up that is very intense in that region. Okay, let's come on down, straight out the legs, and let's just bring the knuckles together. Drop the elbows as much as you can so your wrists bend the other way. It's possible that that reverse table was enough for you and you want to just repeat it again. Otherwise, we're going to go for Purvottanasana, which is one of the hardest poses in primary series, I think. So, legs straight, glue them together, point your toes. And what we're going to try to do is get the toes to the floor. But you can see with your feet that they're like 4 inches away from the ground. So we're going to put our hands behind us, fingers facing front, and we're going to lift our hips up in order to get our feet down. Make sure you have no wrist pain here. Legs are crazy strong. And then we lower down gently and release. So that bending of the wrist is not comfortable for everyone. I haven't found any good way to kind of overcome that other than do it for a shorter length of time more often. So let's vinyasa. So by that I mean instead of holding it for 5 breaths, you'd hold it for like 2 breaths. Every day 2 breaths instead of every other day 5, something like that. Okay. So we're going to come into a squat. You can get there however you want. And there'll be a lot of different ways that you'll go to it. So I'm just keeping my feet together because it's no problem on my ankles or my knees. You might want your feet apart. You might even want your toes to face out. And you might want to be up here to save your knees. So just make a choice. Stay for another breath or so. This is just to get into your hips a little bit. We will take it to baby bakasana in just a moment. This is just helping us round our back. So baby bakasana is very misleading in its name It's harder than bakasana. So if you prefer to go here, this is bakasana, just practice there. If you want a little more for the belly, you're going to come to your forearms, bring your knees toward your armpits, and then it's the same idea. As bakasana, you rock forward and you keep your feet lifting up toward your butt. Head is off the ground. So you decide. I'm going to watch. I would recommend the baby bakasana one if you are somewhat bored by bakasana. If you have it so easy that it's no problem. Good. And let's return to our squat from wherever you were. And let's practice just bakasana to jump back. So the way you have to jump your feet back is your knees have to get lighter. So you're going to think of this up idea. As you're leaning forward, you can think handstand, just to give yourself a little space between the knees and the upper arms, so that you can fling your feet back and vinyasa. Okay, whenever you wind up in down dog again, we're going to jump through to sitting. Heels up for an inhale. Bend the knees, try to keep your knees close to you as you come through. And have a sit. Okay, Ardha Matsyendrasana. So this is not a primary series pose, but it's a great pose. So right foot is going to come to the outside of the left knee. We're going to hug that right knee to the left shoulder. You can keep your left leg straight, or you can bend it so the heel is near your hip, but you're not sitting on the foot. If this is going well and you want more, hook your arm. And with the strength of your arm, you're going to push your knee to the left. If that's still going well, you can reach your hand down for your foot. Your right hand can either be on the floor, helping you sit up tall, or it comes behind your back, and you try to hold your left thigh. If you're not distracted by the twist, the shoulder position, the elbow, you will find a really nice hip stretch for that right hip. Okay, let's slowly unravel. We're going to continue that right hip stretch, double pigeon. Left leg will line up with that top edge of the mat. Right shin stacks on top of it. This is another one, just like a half lotus, where you might want a block or a book or a pillow here, because it's much more pleasant when that knee is resting on something. I have my knee resting on the ankle because this is like 20 years in this game. But if it's not resting on the ankle, just wedge something there. So either fold forward or twist to the left, bring your elbow to your arch. It's nice to kind of massage around in there. Your little bony elbow can poke around. Or you can go tricep to arch and make the twist deeper. Or you could go shoulder to arch and make the twist even deeper. You can keep your right forearm on the ground or do a prayer. Okay, and let's slowly unravel. We'll cross the shins. The only reason really that we cross high up is because if we cross at the ankles, this tends to happen with the knees. They fly out. And then getting the legs through to chaturanga is just harder. So cross high up, plant your hands, lift your butt, and slide your feet through that tiny little space you created so that you can vinyasa. And we'll jump through for the other side. So the tendencies are to lift the wrists because that makes the jump through have 2 extra inches. Don't do that. It's a waste of time. Just be humbled until one day you clear it. Just keep thinking knees up until one day it works. Okay, left ankle. Sorry, I lied. Left foot over to the right side of the knee. Hug that knee to the right shoulder, make a decision about your right leg. Do you want it straight or not? It won't really impact that stretch for the left hip. Do you want to hook your arm? Do you want to reach down? Some people do stick in a bind here. This is not a traditional thing, but if binding is something that you're working on and you find it entertaining, you could try sticking your hand through the little triangle that your left leg made. It would be pretty much the same bind you did in Bhujapidasana C. John, get your butt back in that pose. We're not done. Thank you. Okay, now we're done. Undo your pose for double pigeon. I'm watching you, boy. Okay. So chest towards shin, feet flexed. If your ankles are all wiggly wobbly, it's not going to serve you in some other poses. So while you're here in this very stable pose, you might as well start to train the feet and ankles. And either stay there or start to add the twist. This is another one where the belly impacts quite a bit of it. So I like to kind of go in with the belly and then twist a little more. Okay, and let's slowly get out of there. Cross the shins, kind of close to the knees. We'll keep the knees close to the shoulders. Chaturanga. So we lean forward, lift our butt, slide our feet through, and step or jump the rest of the way back. It's very hard, it's often frustrating, but it will get us stronger. Okay, let's jump our feet around our hands. So they're just going to move like frogs. And we're going to stay here for a moment with our butt pretty high. And we're going to try to wedge our shoulders further underneath the knees. So lift the right heel, lean a little bit to the right, and try to put your shoulder further under. And lower that right heel, do the same thing left side. Heel up, shoulder under, then heel down. And just make sure you can still breathe while you're there. Be on your fingertips. Relax your neck. This is just prep for some stuff. This in itself is not a pose. Okay, let go of the shoulder thing. Have a seat on your butt. And we're going to go for bakasana. Soles of the feet together, chest up, and fold forward, chest toward toes. So this is kind of all working us up toward Bhujapidasana, which is a very hard pose for 1,000 reasons. We're just trying to tackle it from all sides. Okay, let's rise up. We'll slide the feet further forward by maybe 12 or 18 inches. Big diamond shape. Belly in, and start to bring the head toward the arches of your feet. Okay, we'll rise up. We're going to straighten the legs so that the heels are about at mat's edge. And we'll fold forward. This is a prep for Kurmasana, which actually comes after Bhujapidasana, but can help us with Bhuja. So if this is easy for you, holding the heels like this, then bend the knees, bring your shoulders inside of the knees, kind of like what you did when you were standing up. Slide the arms out and back, and then return to the forward bend, keeping the feet as close to the mat as you can, but they won't be as close as they were before your shoulders went under there. This is Kurmasana or prep for Kurmasana. Okay, so we'll slowly get out of there. And let's take a vinyasa however you can so that you don't get stuck in that forward bend, because that could happen. Okay. We're going to jump our feet again around our hands. This time we're going to try to get our palms down. And instead of getting our shoulders under the knees, I'm just going to have my knees kind of behind my triceps, or knees in front of my triceps. I don't even know what's in front and what's behind at the moment because it's like a pretzel. So I'm going to press my hands down such that the feet can lift up. This is the wrist aspect of it. A lot of folks, the wrists can't get down. That's why we did Bhujapidasana earlier, just to give you a chance to practice that. Okay, so let's undo. Have a seat on your butt. Do a little more risky thing, and then we'll try that again. So thumbs in to the palm, 4 fingers curl around the thumb, and just have your forearms parallel to the ground. And start to angle your knuckles down. The forearms will stay parallel to the ground. It's just the hand that angles. And you'll feel this wicked stretch through that inside of the hand and the wrist. If you have blocks that are the same size, when we do this again in a moment, you can put your hands on blocks. If you have blocks that are not the same, however, that would work so well. Okay, shake it out. So the reason we did so much hip stuff is so you could be in a squat like this without hip pain. So maybe for you, you need to work hip stuff more. Feel free to do that. Otherwise, you're going to try to bring your hands back. Maybe on blocks, maybe not. You'll try to bring your palms down. Once your palms get down, it's not such a big deal to get the feet up. Really getting the palms down is like the big deal. Once your feet are across your ankles, right over left, and try to bring your feet through the little space you created with your forearms. And let's just come to the crown of the head, and then come up again. And then come to the crown of the head, and then come up again. One more time. We'll let that go and have a seat on our butts again. Okay, let's have our hands by our hips, knuckles down, palms up. So it's like a Dandasana, but with flipped hands. Usually your Dandasana, your palms are flat, but your wrists just did a lot. So. Okay. Shake it out. We'll bend into that front leg for bakasana. So instead of pigeon, shin in front, we're going to go knee facing front. We'll just lean forward and slide our left leg under. You could sit on a block, you could sit on the floor and have your feet out to the side, or you can bring your feet quite close together and try to sit on your heels. Any one of those is fine. When you decide what you want to do with your butt, interlace your fingers underneath your right knee. And it takes a little bit of leaning forward to get that position. So anchor your hand on your knee and then push your knee down into your hand. Try to sit up a little bit taller. Okay, slowly let that go. So we're going to change sides. You could go through a headstand to change sides or not. It's just a fancy way that some people think is fun, and it sort of is. You just put your head down, lift your legs up. They'll uncoil in the air, and they'll recoil, and you wind up on the other side. That is not really the way we change sides in Ashtanga land, but it is fun. So somehow make it so your left leg is on top. The little pooches of fat at the top of the leg sometimes get in the way. So I lean forward quite a bit
And I try to get that back leg to sweep over to the side and then in. If it doesn't go to the side first, I find it too difficult to organize the little fat thing. Okay, interlace fingers under the knee. Those of you balancing, trying to sit on your heels, you'll have to push your knee down like that. Okay, so let's get out of there. We're going to meet in tripod. If you don't want to get there from here, no problem, but just come up to your tripod, however you want to get there. And once you're there, we're just going to bring the knees into the chest, curling into a little ball. Then we'll bring the legs up again toward vertical. You don't even have to go all the way to vertical if you're a little nervous about falling over. And we'll just do that 2 more times. Really, the difficult part is when your knees are very close to your chest. Julie, elbows in a little bit. Yes. Good. Okay, so when you've had enough of such things, you can go right from there to chaturanga, or you can vinyasa however you want. We're going to meet in downward dog. And we're going to finish our bakasana, but we're going to do it with different legs. So let's step the right foot forward. Anjaneyasana. Bakasana was the one where your thighs were crossed and you were interlacing under your knee. That pose has part A and part B. So part B, arms, is the one where our right arm comes up and over, our elbow points up, and our left arm comes around and points down. And we either link our fingers or we hold our t-shirt or a strap. And we try to push our head back in such a way that our throat feels open. Okay, leave it out of there. Change sides however you want to. Somehow you get that left leg in front. Get comfy in your Anjane. We're going to get the first bottom arm dealt with first. And if your balance feels weird, bend into your front leg a little bit more. I see a little wiggling going on. That is sort of avoidable. Good. And let's slowly get out of there. Vinyasa. Okay. So 2 options. Either your tripod into bakasana or Bhujapidasana Shirsasana A, fingers interlaced, where we just practice bringing our knees into the chest, because that's super important for your strength, for your ability to do a bakasana. So you choose. If you're going to the headstand with the forearms down, some of you are actually going to be able to touch your knees toward your armpits. Go as low as you can, knowing that you do have to come up again. Julie, try that again. And as soon as your head gets off the floor, Jules, look forward, try to straighten your arms. Yes! Oh my God, so good. All right. So whenever you've had enough of whatever thing you're doing, find your way to downward dog. Those of you who went to bakasana, you could go straight from there to chaturanga or return to headstand. Let's bring the right foot forward. Again for Anjaneyasana. This time, right forearm or hand to that front leg. Left hand back to the inside of the foot. Bend the front leg as much as you can stand it. And you're going to feel a crazy stretch through the shoulder, pecs, the hip. Some of you turn it into bakasana grip. Just start bending the left elbow. Your foot will come close to you. And once it's pretty close to you, your fingers can flip over the toes. Okay, let that go. Change sides however you want to. Left hand or forearm on the left leg, right hand reaches back. So even if you do almost nothing in this pose, there's a lot to be felt. When you want, pull the foot in a little bit more, curl the fingers over. And try to face front. It's very tempting to go out to the diagonal, kind of the same temptation as Bhujapidasana A. So we have to be very diligent about squaring up. Okay, slowly let that go. Either vinyasa or downward dog. And we're going to jump through from downward dog and have and lay back. So we'll land on our butts and then we'll lay back. And let's find our feet close to our butt, heels within finger grip. Move any ponytail or bun so your head can be down nicely. And let's lift up the hips, interlace the fingers under the back, rock a little bit side to side so that you can get your arm wedged under a little better. And let's come onto the balls of the feet. Push the hips up a little higher. You probably just got 4 more inches. And now think about gluing your pubic bone to the ceiling. Keep it as high as it is. Just lower your heels down again. It's possible. You just have to work your legs harder. And let's slowly come on down to the back, release the grip. And we'll do 2 more back bends from here. You can repeat what we just did, or hands by the shoulders. Come on up for Bhujapidasana. Come onto the balls of the feet. Pubic bone higher. Keep it at that height. Start to lower your heels again. Slowly come on down. We'll do 1 more from here. 5 breaths once we're up there. So count your own breath pace, but try to be honest about it. Try not to rush it. And whenever you wind up down on your back again, just bring your knees into the chest. Rock a little bit side to side to give your back a massage. And we'll bring the chin toward the chest and rock a little forward and back. And eventually sit up. And let's just step to downward dog. So for our final inversion, just make a choice. Do you want Bhujapidasana, which is a bit of a back bend, or do you want a headstand, which would be neutral back? If you're choosing headstand, you have many options. The one where we interlace our fingers, you could stay in for an hour. All the other crazy ones, just 5 to 10 breaths, no more. Especially if you're doing Mukta B or Mukta C. 5 breaths, no mas. I'm going to watch. Carol Bloom is choosing Pincha. I'm choosing for her. But I don't know if Carol's in Pincha because she's not using her wall. So I think maybe she needs to come down and change her arms into Pincha formation. But Miss Bloom, you don't need to use your wall. You're okay there. The reason I knew was because she was straight. I can't see her arms, but I can see everything else. So Pincha, you're in a back bend. So I could tell without seeing your arms what you've chosen.
It was Bakasana C.
Hey, good one. Now do that with your head off the ground, girl. And John, try gluing your legs together so that they act as one unit. It's a fun game to play when you feel like wobbly. Carol, come away from the wall a little bit more, 12 inches, and then do it again. Everyone else can come on down. Carol's gonna do it one more time. While we wait for her, we're gonna sit in some kind of cross-legged position. Some of you are gonna go lotus. Right leg first, then left leg. Carol's looking a little tired today. I see better. I see better. Okay, but it came and went, right? Done. Whether it worked or not, it's done. So let's just sit cross-legged, and we're gonna reach behind us for opposite elbows. If you're in lotus, your left hand will hold your left foot, your right hand will hold your right foot. And this will seem impossible until you get it, and then you're like, oh, okay. And let's fold forward. Try to draw the belly in so you feel your mid-back get a stretch because you just did some back bend. Now let's rise up, extend the legs out in a V shape, and fold again. Your hands can be anywhere along the leg. They might go to your foot. You might want to make a pillow out of your hands. Or you might want to actually grab a pillow from your couch and go for broke. That sounds really nice. And make a choice to either stay there or to rise up a bit and wiggle the feet together for Bhujapidasana, which is a little bit harder than a wide-legged. So you decide. When you're ready, rise up, take any last pose you need, and we'll meet in Shavasana. Sally must have gotten bored because she left Julie by herself. Swaha, Tatsavitorinyam, Bardo Devasya Dimari, Diyo Na Pra
Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo devasya dhimai Dhiyo yo na prachodayat Om Bhurva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo devasya dhimai Dhiyo yo na prachodayat Om Bhurva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo devasya dhimai Dhiyo yo na prachodayat Om Bhurva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo devasya dhimai Dhiyo yo na prachodayat Om Bhurva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo devasya dhimai Dhiyo yo na prachodayat Om Bhurva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo devasya dhimai Dhiyo yo na prachodayat Om.
Use the next minute to wrap up your Shavasana in any way you like. We'll just meet sitting up with eyes closed. Let's bring the hands together whenever you get there. It's no rush. And use your exhale to fold forward. Namaste.